Confusion in my eyes. The wind is biting through to wave hello. Seeing my revenge, destruction. All these are called the same effects. I'm a heterosexist tragedy. Panic, fear, pain, darkness, pandemonium. In the cell I was his home and gets hammered down in the master's finest tools.
You are listening to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propaganda. On this episode, I welcome Björn Limander to the show. Björn lives in Sweden with his family. He works as a sound engineer. He makes acoustic punk rock cover YouTube videos under the moniker Punk Rock for Dummies, and he sings for the fantastic band rnarna. If you've never heard rnarna, they sound like this. On this episode, Björn and I talk about his acoustic propaganda covers of Showdown, Refusing to Be a Man, Potemkin City Limits, and Today's Empire's Tomorrow's Ashes. Each cover is played in full in the episode. After you hear this, please go check out Björn's YouTube channel, where he posts the videos in full, complete with every vocal take he includes in the final version. These videos are meant to be seen, not just heard. Links for all of Björn's stuff are in the show notes of this episode, so please go give him a follow. Please enjoy my conversation with Björn Limander. Björn, welcome to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propaganda.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I'm delighted that you're here, Björn. I'm wondering if we can spend a moment and have you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience out there so they know who you are and just a little bit about your life.
Yeah, of course. First off, I want to say I'm pretty nervous about speaking English because I don't do that a lot. So if I say anything weird or offensive, I'm definitely going to blame that on the language barrier.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm Björn Limander. I'm 44 years old and I'm married. I have 2 grown-up kids. I work as a sound engineer at Uppsala Stadsteater, and I sing in the Swedish trallpunk band Björnarna. And I also make acoustic renditions of punk rock songs in a project that I call Punk Rock for Dummies. And I also love outdoors activities, or as I like to call them, activities.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's great. That's great, man. I'm excited to hear about your variety of projects. I wonder if you can just tell me a little bit more about your background in playing and like enjoying music. Tell me a little bit more about because I didn't know you were a sound engineer. I didn't know you were in another band. So tell me a little bit more about your life in music.
Okay, so I'm not a sound engineer. I work as a sound engineer. That's the difference. I basically don't know what I'm doing. So, but anyway, my musical interest started when I was like 9 or 10. My brother and I were listening to like Public Enemy and Run DMC and NWA, stuff like that, hip hop music, and we had the rap, and we had turntables, and we were like DJing and stuff like that. And when I was 12, I was introduced to Swedish punk rock through a couple of bands called Ebba Grön and DLK, De Lyckliga Kompisarna. And I thought, oh, this was cool. And I also had been skating since I was like 9. And then in 94, or something like that, I heard the NoFX Punk and Drublic. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed that my favorite 2 things, like punk rock and skateboarding, they were a thing, a concept. So my background in music is I played in a couple bands when I was like 14 years old. Then I have been playing other stuff like cover band music, and a couple of years back, my friends in Swedish child punk band Björnarna asked me if I would join their band, and actually I came in as a lead singer. The
Mm.
guitarists were sharing the lead before that, and they asked me to be a lead singer after I had been filling in for one of the guitarists at two shows in Stockholm. So they asked me if I could like fill in for him, and I said yes, and I guess they liked what I did, and so I've been singing with Björnarna and releasing stuff with Björnarna since then, and it's a really cool band. And if you haven't heard it, I think you should check it out. It's like trallpunk is basically skate punk, but sung in Swedish, I guess you could say.
So many listeners of this podcast know you for your acoustic punk project, Punk Rock for
That's right.
Dummies. And
That's right.
so I think that if they enjoy your acoustic videos, that they might also be interested in checking out your bands. So definitely check that out in the show notes. Tell me a little bit about the origin of your acoustic punk video project, Punk Rock for Dummies.
Well, actually, that's related to Björnarna, because when I started singing with Björnarna, I wanted to share the music, the new music that we were creating with my parents-in-law, my wife's parents. And they are not like used to listening to punk rock music, and they can't really get past the fast drumming and stuff like that. So I had like a punk rock school with them. I performed the songs on acoustic guitar, and then I played the original, and they like, okay, we get it now. There's melodies and there's lyrics and there's musicality here, but they couldn't get to that because they're not used to listening to punk rock.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh, there's so many great punk rock songs, like with great lyrics and great melodies, and people should like have the opportunity to get to know them as they are. Like a lot of them can be performed on an acoustic guitar or on a piano, and I don't know, because I come from a background with both playing covers and punk, and this is like the result of that. All of my musical activities for like all my life.
Yeah. When did you start the project? I know that it's been maybe 3 or 4 years now. So did this sort of stem from like the COVID years?
I guess it does. I actually made a couple of recordings, like not videos, but I more like polished recordings in the beginning of the 2000s. I did Franco American by NoFX, and I made like some Green Day song, and actually a cover of Today's Empire's Tomorrow's Ashes as well, but I don't think I finished it. So the thought had been there all along. I think it was when I started with Björnarna that I just wanted to get these songs like their proper attention. I don't know how to say, but
Yeah.
they're great songs. But I guess a lot of people will miss them,
Yeah.
miss the point of them,
Gotcha.
sort of.
Yeah. Okay. So going back in time real quick before we dive into some of the specific songs that you made, tell me about what you remember about becoming a fan of Propagandy. Like, when did they come into your life as a fan of music?
Oh, I guess that must have been in like '94. There were a lot of great records released that year, and I think How to Clean Everything was one of them, right? Or was that '93?
Hmm. Well, that was 93, yeah. But I mean, if you
Yeah.
found it around that time, I mean, that makes a lot of sense with the beginning of Fat Records.
Yeah, and I think one of my friends had them on a cassette, like a tape cassette at that time, and I heard them, and I thought they were pretty cool, but they didn't like stick out from any of the other skate punk bands that I was listening at the time, like NoFX or Randy or stuff like that. They were just okay. They were okay, a great skate punk band. It wasn't until like their later material, like Potemkin City Limits and Today's Empires, that I discovered them, discover and lyrically that they're masterpieces, like
Yeah.
every single song.
Okay, cool. Well, you've made three propaganda videos that are released on Punk Rock for Dummies so far. I know that there is a new one in the works, which we will get to in just a little bit. But to date, people that go to your YouTube channel can find Showdown, Refusing to Be a Man, and the song Potemkin City Limits. So is it cool if we start off with Showdown?
For sure.
So we got Showdown, Greenest Eyes, GEP, which comes from How to Clean Everything, 1993. Tell me a little bit about why you covered this particular song, how this song came to be, and why you did this one.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different from the other ones because I was approached by a guy called Michael Stevenson, and he had recorded the guitar for this song. And that's a fun thing with Punk Rock for Dummies, all the collaboration. I think that's like a great thing about the internet that we can collaborate with people. But he had recorded the guitar and like the guitar video. And I don't think I would have chosen that song if it wasn't for him approaching me. I mean, it's a great song, but I think maybe from How to Clean Everything, I would have gone with Stick the Goddamn Flag Up Your Fucking Ass or something
Yeah.
like that. Uh, or maybe Anti Manifesto. So it wasn't one of the songs that like I would have chosen. But since he made the guitar, I started like listening to the song, and I thought it was really good, and I made the cover.
When you are doing these, something that one of the most defining features is the four-part harmonies that you do. Um, and I'm wondering if that, like, if you can tell me a little bit about what it was like for this particular one, Showdown, like what was fun or challenging about doing this particular video, like what you remember most about the recording process.
I remember, I mean, this was 3 years ago, I think, or something like that, and I haven't like found the time to do videos since until now. But I think I had to make like a new video with the intro in a
Hmm.
cappella and add it to the one that he had made, and then that would be the bass line for the rest of the recordings. And as in all my songs, I start with like guitar and the lead vocal, and then I double the lead vocal on like the middle frame, and then I put the high vocal and the harmonies, the harmony and the harmony, like on either side of that frame. And I remember, I think that was in color. I don't know why. That's what I remember, but it was quite some time ago.
Yeah. Well, when you do the videos, what's so cool is you have all of the images all stacked on top of each other for viewers to watch. Um, when you're filming those videos, are you actually singing? Is that the actual take in the video that you're showing, or are they vocals recorded separately and then you do the videos later?
No, that's the actual, and that's the whole point of these videos. I want to, I mean, I could have recorded these songs and make a like polished mix and fixed everything, but I think that would be so uninteresting.
Mm.
So what I'm aiming for is authenticity and transparency, because I would never like with the double lead vocal, I would never do that on a recording because that's pretty lame if you can hear there's actually two takes. But here on the video, you can see it. It's transparent. I'm singing the lead two times, and you can see it. Everything's out in the open. And actually, with the harmonies, most of the videos are just me making up harmonies as I go along.
Hmm.
Sometimes I have to go back and make a new take because I landed on the same note as the lead or whatever, or octaves on the other harmony. But I make them up as I go along, and then I do takes till I'm satisfied. And so there's a lot of like notes ending at different times. You have like three S's at the end of a phrase or something like that. But I prefer that to the polished, like I don't think that would be interesting. Then it would just be a guy with guitar singing, like for vocal parts, and I prefer this format. And I'm actually, I hope people will have that in mind now if they only hear the audio, that it's supposed to be videos.
Well, that said, we are going to play just the audio right now. So we'll play Showdown, and then we'll be back and we'll chat about the next song.
We spoke our minds so clearly, we assumed fundamental rights were inherent, not as pawns but as humans. I do not require a gauge for freedoms of speech, 'cause I never asked to be a citizen. I never have and never will pledge allegiance. Waking up each morning with confusion in my eyes. The wind is biting through to wave hello. Seeing my reflection, an exterior of lies. Hope the shaky feeling doesn't show. As if I had to tell you there was little left to say. Still to conversation colored blue. You were sitting down and you got up to walk away. I tried to stay but I was right behind you. I was right behind you. I was right behind you. Tension in the stare, I cannot pass it close to helpless as these songs I sing inside me ring. Finding words are boring, never touch. I know you whispered something in my ear. I couldn't hear you. Girls with the greenest eyes, the first time you have kissed. Our quiet, softer sighs, a song for all of those who shot and missed. Welcome to this world, imputed identity. Born tagged at your pacified. Generously bestowed my rights and privileges replete with arbitrary values been ascribed. There's nothing I can tell you, there's nothing I can say. Stunning conversations, censored thoughts. I'm completely free with liberty guaranteed. I'm less of course you decide I'm not, but I'll be resigned to fall in line behind you. Tension in the air, I cannot pass. What the fuck am I accomplishing? Absolutely nothing. All these words are boring, time for action, but you taught me to be a pawn. It won't last for long. Those who see through the lies are quickly gagged and bound. Ambition realized, tear the whole fucking thing down. I was right behind you. I was right behind you.
Okay, we're back. Okay, so everybody, go watch the video for Showdown. As Bjorn said, it's supposed to be seen. And so even though you just heard it, go watch the video as well. The link is in the show notes. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Refusing to Be a Man from 1996's Less Talk, More Rock. Why did you pick this one?
I guess I was listening to Let's Talk More Rock, trying to find the song most suitable for making a cover. And I there's lots of songs on that record. I mean, it's quite poppy, I
hmm
guess.
I would want to see if I can make a request in the future. I think that you should do a video for I Was a Preteen McCarthyist someday.
Yeah, that would be, of course, that's there's a lot of songs suitable for covering on that one.
Yeah.
The more metallic stuff, the later stuff, it's actually harder to find. But that's a lot of fun too. But I'll make a mental note. And I get a lot of requests, and that's fun. I wish I had the time to make them all.
Yeah, I
Of
know, I
course.
bet. All right, so go back to Refusing to Be a Man.
Yeah, so I was searching for like suitable covers, and I ended up doing that song because I that was one of the songs I like remember the most from when that album came out. Me and my friends were listening to it, and we thought it was like cool, very very cool lyrically, and still in
Oh
Swedish we would
yeah,
say aktuell, actual. It's still shit.
it's
I
still
can't find the
relevant
word.
for sure.
Irrelevant, yeah. So it's not a cool story maybe, but I just I thought it was time to do a Let's Talk More Rock song, and maybe that's the story behind it.
So this one is a really cool video because I was watching it and I was loving it, and then all of a sudden this little piano that you blow into comes into the
Yeah,
video. Tell me a little bit about making this video and how you landed on like some of the special details.
yeah. The I think it's called a not a harmonica, but a melodica. It's like
Cool.
so it's sort of like a harmonica, but with keys, I guess. And I got it as a present from my family some years back. And I guess I was because I did figure out how the riff was played at the end, but I guess I didn't think I think I had to make something more like get more attention to the melody or something like that. That I
Mm.
didn't think it was enough with the guitar part. That I wanted to highlight the outro thing, maybe just to like justify even having the outro. Maybe I would have ended earlier if I didn't add the harmonica,
hmm
I guess.
Excellent. Yeah, I thought that was that little detail was so cool when that came up. I was like, oh, sweet, there because it's the little teeny tiny adjustments and modifications that pop up in these covers that make them so special, like the acapella intro to Showdown, the melodica that pops up in Refusing to Be a Man. I just love the way that you try to like add something unique beyond just the guitar and just a single vocal. I mean, there's these little details that pop up in each of your covers. Is that kind of something that you're enjoying experimenting with? Is adding a little flair to it?
Well, first of all, thank you, and I definitely do that. I the melodica is like a silly instrument, and that's why I love using it. And I try to add a little extra, but these videos they're not really all that thought through. I just make it up as I go along.
I love it.
And I
It's
also record it like I just try to make an arrangement of how I want to play the song, and then I record it often way too early, so I have to make lots of takes before I get that first guitar and lead take because I miss out on some lyrics or stuff like that. But
yeah.
once that take is uh, set, then I just make stuff up as I go along.
Do you have any like stories or particular ways that this song like connects to your life or kind of what this song means to you or anything like that? Anything personal?
Well, I have a daughter, and actually, feminism nowadays it's pretty cool to watch. I know you're a teacher, right?
Yeah, I'm a teacher and I have a daughter as well.
Yeah, and how old are your students?
My students are all high school.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
cool. And your daughter?
She's 11, so she just is entering like middle school grades in the US here.
Yeah, okay. So my daughter is 22, and when I hear her and her friends talking about like feminism and stuff like that, it feels like they're sort of beyond feminism. They
Mm.
know there's still work to be done, but they're not as we've actually come some way because they don't feel the I don't know how to put this in English, but I think they're experiencing some kind of, in Sweden at least, some kind of post-feminism that
Mm.
it's like it's
That's
not
so
really an
cool though.
issue for them. Yeah,
All right, well, should we play your cover of Refusing to Be a Man for the listeners?
sure.
All right, here we go. Enjoy Refusing to Be a Man, and we'll be right back.
I'm not gonna try and tell you that I'm different from all the rest. I've been subject to the same destruction. All these are felt the same effects. I'm a heterosexist tragedy, and potential rapists, all are we. Yeah, but don't tell me this is natural, this is nurturing. There's a difference between sexism and sexuality. I had different desires prior to my role remodeling. And at 6 years of age you don't challenge your claims, you become the same. Or withdraw from the game and hang your head in shame. I think that's exactly what I did. Try to sever connection between me and them. I fought against their further attempts to convince a kid that birthright can be stolen. The power to yield the subordination of women. And do you know what patricentricity means? I found out just a couple of decades ago. It means male values liberales. And what do you know? Sex has been distorted, vilified. I'm scared of my attraction to body types. If everything desired is subjectified, then maybe eroticism needs to be redefined. And I refuse to be a man.
All right, so as I said earlier, everybody go watch the video too, because seeing it and watching the melodica from the Refusing to Be a Man section of the video is it's going to be a real treat. So go check out that video. All right, so Bjorn, we got your next tune, Potemkin City Limits from the Supporting Cast LP. Tell me a little bit about why you chose Potemkin City Limits to make a cover for.
Well, it's not that hard. It's a great song, and also great lyrics. And if people take the time to listen to the lyrics, they can't be like unaffected by it because
Mm-hmm.
it's a great story, and everybody loves stories, and I do too. And it's Chris's perspective on stuff. The way I think it's genius, and and I think it was a little hard to like find a good arrangement for it, and I think I played it quite fast. So, but once that main take was done, then it's just adding harmonies, as I said.
So Bjorn, you're on Chris's Patreon. You're a member of his Patreon, correct?
Yeah, I am. I am.
I believe that's where you and I got in touch recently to make this. My memory on this project becomes fuzzy because I've done so many of these episodes, but Chris did make a great episode on Potemkin City Limits, which I presume you've listened to.
Yeah, I think I've heard them all. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What do you think about Chris's Patreon project? I'm just curious because I love it so much and I've listened to the episodes several times each at this point, and I'm just curious what your experience is over there because he did make a Potemkin City Limits episode.
Yeah, and I think I've heard it, and I really enjoy all his episodes. And I think it's a great way for me to like maybe understand a little bit more, like from the lyrics and what's behind it. And Potemkin City Limits is actually quite easy to get as a Swede.
Hmm.
But a lot of the other songs are they can be hard to follow. I get that they're brilliant, but maybe not all the like. And maybe I don't have all the context to like all the songs. Someone's
What was
coming.
fun?
Oh my God.
What was fun about making this one?
I guess I was still trying to figure out how to make these videos, and I remember putting like an echo on some of the phrases, and I that was part of me. It's all an experiment. I mean, none of these are like I said, thought through covers. I just make it up as I go along, and I enjoy doing that one. But I enjoy doing all of them.
Excellent. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear Potemkin City Limits, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about your brand new video that you have just made very recently. So we'll get back to you in just a second. So here is Potemkin City Limits.
Francis didn't give a fuck about the rollbacks. The overproduction reduced demand. Never gave much thought to disputed contracts. In his short life he'd only ever known panic, fear, pain, darkness, pandemonium. In his cellar was his home, and fourth quarter running expectations expedited their demise. Panic grew as the humans stalked among them, and the screaming began. Francis shot his eyes and felt the hand of inhumanity brush over him, but his would-be killer's back turned for a moment. A blinding ray of light spread across the floor. In a crimson pool he saw his own reflection as he bolted for the door. Not just a fractured fairy tale, although I wish that that were true. This is a fable far too real, yet we somehow still cling to the storylines that bridge the chasms between cognition and belief. Any old implausible denial that might offer some relief from the dissonance that Francis left screaming in his wake, deep into the heart of the city's parklands. He made good his escape, and wherefore from us he ran free, and replayed his only fond memory, just a warm and distant dream of his mother's loving eyes upon him. Francis made it farther than she did. A quarter mile just short of the city limits, they finally captured him. And as a statue at the abattoir erected, to remind us all of their contributions. To me it marks Potemkin city limits, this Francis cast in bronze. Turn around, I'm gone. Not just a fractured fairy tale, although I wish that that were true. This is a fable far too real, we somehow still cling to.
All right, and we are back. So there was Potemkin City Limits. So Bjorn, let's chat about a brand new video that you have recently made. You made a video for Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes, which you alluded to a while back that you had made a cover of this a long time ago but never finished. So I'm delighted that you have been able to make a brand new video, that you have returned to a cover that you made a long time ago and now have had a completed version. But you are now returning with a new video after a sort of a long break, a hiatus. So tell me about returning to your acoustic covers project after 3 years away.
Yeah, so 3 years ago I started working as a sound engineer, as I said, on Uppsala Stadsteater, and it's a demanding job. It takes up a lot of time, and I also have the band, and I'm not complaining. All those things are very fun, but I haven't been able to make a video in 3 years, and I definitely I would like to release a video a week maybe. But then you approached me and asked me to be on the podcast, and and I thank you for that. That was my
You're welcome.
kick in the ass to get started. And now now I've done a video, and I'm happy to release it on the same date as you released this episode. And I'm gonna make more videos. I've Bad Religion's Sorrow in the pipe, and I've
Nice.
Also Cop Just Out of Frame.
Oh,
Propaganda,
yes.
of course. Yeah.
Yes.
I actually tried making a video yesterday where I was walking in the forest, singing it a cappella, and trying not to freak out if anyone would hear me. And also trying to introduce it in English, but that's hard.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad to be back. I hope I can bring release more videos. I think it's fun, and the reactions, and once again the collaborations that it initiates is super rewarding.
Wonderful. Why did you choose Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes to cover?
Sorry, I just had a thought. I just wanted to mention something, and I don't know if it's So as I told you, it's been really rewarding with the collaborations and the contact with the bands making the songs and stuff like that. But out of the videos that I've released, only non-American bands have been sharing them on their social medias. And I know it's just 16 videos or something like that, but all the non-American bands have shared them, and none of the American bands have shared my videos. Just a little reflection about.
That's weird. I don't get stuff like that.
Share
maybe, it,
Yeah, maybe they don't think it's good enough, and I would totally buy that. But and I was super stoked when Propaganda they shared I think it was Potemkin City Limits cover, and it was on their Facebook page for a week or something like that before they posted another thing.
Nice.
I can't deny that it feels validating, of course.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you deserve it. I think these videos are fantastic, which is why I'm just so happy that we can feature all of your covers on the podcast, because, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? I feel like creating community is something that I really care about with regards to this project. So yeah, I think that's great. But yeah, tell me a little bit about why you chose Today's Empires.
Well, I maybe Today's Empires is one of those songs that I don't really get lyrically what's it about. I mean, I get some of it, but maybe you could explain. Like, do you know the song meaning?
I mean, yeah, but there's so many little historical details
Yeah.
in the song itself that we made an episode about it early on in the podcast, and I researched every single one of the names and the events that are included in the lyrics. I think it's episode either 11 or 13 or something like that, but it's really early on. But I spent a lot of time researching that. So if listeners want to find out about all those like names and details and dates and everything and events that are listed in this song, that is where I would encourage people to go listen to, because I spent a really long time trying to figure all that stuff out myself. So I totally get it. There's so much in that song that makes it a very dense, challenging piece to understand.
Yeah, maybe I should have checked out that episode before we did this.
Someday later.
I will. But I mean, I think it's a great song, and it's one of the songs from that album that makes a great acoustic cover, because they so Propagandhi doesn't really know. I think Chris talked about this. They don't really know how to write songs. I mean, in the way that in my band we like make we've got the chords and we got the melody and the lyrics, and it could have been like an ABBA song or whatever, singer-songwriter kind of song, but they seem to struggle for years stacking riffs on top of each others and taking parts from different ideas and different songs and making them. And as we all know, the results are awesome, but sometimes hard to cover on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, this is a very musical song. Like the melody is catchy, and when the song ends, as a listener of music, you can still think back and think about those melodies. It's a catchy, memorable tune. So I totally get why this one would translate well to acoustic.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that's it's a simple song, but I don't mean that in any kind of negative way. It's easy to easy to digest or whatever. But it's and it's poppy, and I love the song and I love the album, and I wish I had a more powerful story about why I chose that song, but that's the same way about all these covers that we've talked about. I'm sorry.
I get it. Well, let's hear it. Let's debut the cover of Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes, and this is also on Bjorn's YouTube channel, everybody. So go watch the brand new video as well. So we'll hear the cover, and then we'll be back, and we'll bring this conversation in for a landing. So enjoy Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes.
The tangled web they weave spans from Pine to Ruby Ridge, back from Shades to Feet, on up to Gustafson. Now cutie aspirator, diddleweds and commissars and pricks drown out the faintest thread of commie faggot heretics. Conclusion. The nail that sticks up gets hammered down, and the master's finest tools are found, slack jawed and placid, amidst cacophony of screaming billboards and discovered history. Sometimes the ties that bind are strange. No justice shines upon the cemetery plots marked Hampton Weaver or enemy, where federal bureaus and fentanyl orders soldiers built into these borders. But on the cover of D, the customary gap we find between history and truth found in fathers, bask in the rocket's blinding red glare, the bombs bursting in air, one nation indivisible. Country learned of ratification, the people had a coffin painted black and solemnly born in a funeral procession. They buried it deep in the earth as an emblem of the dissolution and internment of their public liberty. Someday, somewhere, today's empires are tomorrow's ashes.
All right, so Bjorn, we are back. And so thank you for, talking about your covers of Showdown, Refusing to Be a Man, Potemkin City Limits, and Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes. I love the way that we've sort of turned this into like a DJ radio hour to chat about your work. So Bjorn, tell me a little bit about what Propaganda means to you as a fan of music.
I mean, they're brilliant musically and lyrically, and I think they tick all the boxes on creativity, and they've got a unique way of puzzling together songs, and I would love to see them live sometime. I haven't actually. A couple of years back, they were playing in Gothenburg. And just a few months before that, I was trying to get into my schedule to go see them in Amsterdam or Munich or something like that. And I just gave up. Okay, I can't go see them. And then I heard they had been playing in Gothenburg just 2 months later, and I missed them. And that was a shame, because some of my old friends were there, and I just missed it. So I would love to see them live sometime, and I would like pee my pants if I could be we could open for them with my band Björn Limander, because I think we've got a lot of the same audience here in Sweden as Propaganda.
Excellent. Well, Bjorn, thank you so much for joining me to chat about your love of this band that we both love, even though we live on other sides of the world from each other. It's pretty cool to hear stories about the ways that music is global and the ways that this band is interpreted by people who live in different countries. I love hearing about some of the differences in the way the lyrics are interpreted around the world. It's such a pleasure to have you on the podcast after watching your videos for the last 3 or 4 years myself. So thank you so much for being here to chat about punk rock for dummies. It means a lot.
Thank you for having me, and I really felt like